Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Building Better, Smarter, Faster ConTech Webinar Series by the CTAI Foundation. Thank you so much to all of you for taking out your valuable time on a Friday evening for this webinar. We are very excited to have you all on this session, and we can assure you that it'll be an amazing 1 hour spent of your time in terms of getting great insights into construction technology and how we can practically implement it in the Indian scenario. Just so for everyone's information, this is the first in a series of 6 webinars that we are planning to hold every month, April onwards. And as you know, the first one is with a very prominent personality from the L&T, which is like a big company in India, right? So before delving into what this particular webinar is about and introducing our guest, maybe I'll just give you a brief intro into what is the CTAI Foundation. So very quickly, just introducing CTAI Foundation. It's a non-profit initiative. It's a Section 10 company which is registered. It's a collective of industry, of academia, and of startups, which has come together to promote the use of construction technology in India. And really, the mission is to enhance the efficiency, collaboration, and predictability on construction projects through the use of technology in India in order to make construction more enriching, innovative, and enjoyable. We are basically focusing on 4 parallel pillars, I would say. One is providing the connection between industry and academia to accelerate construction technology adoption, to disseminate world-class construction technology implementation principles, to provide a platform for construction technology solutions, and finally to facilitate the incubation of construction technology companies. And you will see even through the course of this webinar and all the other ones, how we are providing a platform for all of these objectives. Without further ado, I would also like to introduce our eminent guest on today's webinar, who's taken out time from his busy schedule to join us today. So I would like to welcome Mr. R. Shankar Narayanan, sir, from L&T as our chief guest for the first webinar. I'll just give a brief introduction also about sir. RSN sir is the head of the corporate center at Larsen & Toubro, the building and factories vertical within the construction division of the company. I think as we all know, the construction division of L&T is India's largest construction organization, which offers a variety of EPC solutions with a single source responsibility for executing a large variety of projects from industrial to infrastructure, from concept to commissioning. Specifically, sir, in his current position, is responsible for strategy and planning, risk management, project planning, systems and processes, digital initiatives, robotics and automation, BIM engineering, construction methods and planning, IT information systems, and corporate sustainability and resource management. He has a long time period of experience with L&T, more than 3 decades, and he's worked on a lot of interesting projects, which he'll be sharing with us today, which we are all looking forward to. A couple of ones that I want to highlight is his role as the head of project controls at the Delhi Airport Terminal 3 project, which created a world record for timely completion and resulted in customer delight. Finally, he's also the representative of L&T on the Global Council of Project Management Institute and an advisory council member of PMI Chennai ENC Forum. With that, I would like to welcome you, sir, to the webinar. Thank you so much for giving us your time and being a part of the webinar. And before handing it over to you for the presentation, maybe just to kickstart the conversation and get all of the audience members to know you more intimately, just a basic question. Day to day, what does your typical day and role look like at L&T? What are the things that you focus on or work on a day-to-day basis?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dhruv. Thank you, Saurav, for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, I'm part of, I'm heading corporate center, which is corporate center is a new concept for many of you, may not be able to relate it directly. In what we have is, we have business units under the vertical buildings and factories vertical. which is a separate vertical altogether, which is its own HR department, P&M department, other things. And there are 6 or 7 business units and segments. So corporate center is a common brain center of the independent company, this thing. So every IC will have a corporate center, and there's also a divisional corporate center for all the construction also. So what happens is we have an access to kind of all the project data, all the parameters of the data, plus and minuses, everything that goes on within the IC. And we are able to kind of do a domestic benchmark, operational excellence, and drive initiatives in terms of digitalization, in terms of productivity improvement, in terms of new management ideas, new strategic initiative that needs to be driven, new technology that is need to be driven, and also other functions like systems and processes, case safeguarding the systems and processes, doing audits, and then when in whistleblower complaints and other that kind of thing also is part of it. So predominantly, it is a kind of a brain of buildings and factories vertical. And we have access to everything, and we have also a direct matrix kind of organization where we interact with the operations as well, and kind of directly interact with the project sites, visit project sites, and also central planning cell is also part of corporate centers team. Cost control department is also part of cost control this thing. So it's a challenging and busy exercise. I've got verticals, different verticals under my department. It goes on like that. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for that. So I think without wasting any more time.
Yeah, I will share my presentation. I have a brief presentation. Maybe 15 minutes time is given, but slightly I will overshoot. No problem. If otherwise I'll skip. I've slightly made it as a slightly longer presentation, but
great. I think while sir brings up the presentation, a request to audience members, there you will see a Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. So if you have any questions as sir is making the presentation, please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A box, and we'll take them towards the end of the presentation and the end of the session. So, but you can feel free to start posting your questions there. Thank you.
You are able to see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Dhruv?
Yes, sir. We can see the presentation.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So good evening, everyone. So the topic of the presentation is tech-enabled approach in project planning and execution. So I have just divided this into 2 parts. Tech-enabled can be in engineering technology and digital technology. So engineering technology is equally important, L&T being an engineering giant, and that has been always our core strength. So I also want to share engineering technology to this. So brief outline of my presentation will be why tech-enabled approach is kind of, it's no longer an option, it becomes it's an imperative. So what is the reason for that? So my thoughts on that, and why L&T focuses on tech-enabled approach. Second is, for many of you may not be familiar with L&T, so a brief about L&T, about what L&T is. Then how we have been pioneering the technology right through, and some of the recent, some 2-3 recent examples of some challenging projects and interesting technology which I wanted to share with the audience. Since our digital, because there was a lot of queries and interest in AI and digital, so I've kind of added what is our digital and AI journey, how it is going on, and what is the whole process, because I'm also, as a corporate center, heading the digital division of my IC. So I will share with you that, and also what we are trying to do in BIM and robotics. So to start with, why tech-enabled approach is very important, in my opinion. It is truly an Amrit Kaal for India, I would say, because the next 25 years is going to be a truly Amrit Kaal for India. We all know India is the fastest growing economy. Even at this difficult juncture, it is growing at 6.2, 6.3% GDP. And our GDP is $4.2 trillion, which is just behind Japan. Probably Germany is 4.9, Japan is 4.4 or 4.5, and China is 18 trillion, USA is 27 trillion. Just to give you an insight, China was like India's size of economy in 2007. and it has grown to 18 trillion today. And USA was our size 4.4 trillion economy in 1985, and it has grown to 27 trillion. And unlike China is predominantly export-driven economy, whereas India is consumer-driven economy. So it is purely consumption. And recently we had one seminar, internal seminar, where our Niti Aayog chairman was present, and he was mentioning 80% of India is still to be built. So that is the most happening, and it will all get built in next 20 years. And the way it is going to boom, it is unstoppable. And we have the demography and fertility rate, everything in our favor. And like it or not, India will just boom, and the per capita income will increase, everything will increase, and will just start booming. Now, this is a huge opportunity for all civil infrastructure people or construction people, and the kind of projects that will come on, more and more challenging timelines, and everything will come. So it's just a beginning of a big, huge cycle. There is a opportunity. There are also challenges that we are currently facing, and that challenges are going to get accentuated. Today, we see that there's a huge difference in differential income that is there within the. Although it's a big economy, differential income is there. Low productivity in construction industry specifically, low adoption of technology in construction industry in general. If you see, because barring very big companies, it's generally low. And resource supply gap, all big companies are facing huge resource supply gaps, skill gaps are there. And more resources supply gap is going to get increased. The number of workmen available for skilled workmen available for the thing is going to get down, shrink, because what's happening is the per capita income is going to increase, and number of people would like to come into construction kind of thing will start going down. So these are all an initiative which we think that definitely going to happen, and we are gearing up as L&T how to tackle this, because this is the situation that we are currently facing is really going to going to grow up. So technology is the only solution where we need to bring in higher productivity and also new methods of bringing down the workman requirement within the project site itself. How do you bring down through innovation, modularization, prefabrication, and also doing predictability of the outcome also needs to be improved, and risk management needs to improve. For that, digital technology and other things which need to support a decision making. These are all, you like it or not, these are all becoming imperative in construction industry these days. This is why I feel that this is a very relevant seminar, and every construction people in the construction industry must think about it constantly. Now, to talk about, just to introduce L&T to people who do not know L&T, L&T today is almost 2.2 lakhs, 2.2 lakhs revenue. You see, 2.2 lakh crore revenue. That is what is 2.2 lakh crore revenue. So we do almost 20,000 crores, almost nearing about 20,000 crore per month revenue. And our market capitalization is 5 lakhs. And like somebody said, when Amitabh Bachchan was in his peak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, first 10 position was Amitabh Bachchan, 11th position was the next actor. Something like that. L&T is also, if you see construction industry in India, maybe first 10 position will be L&T, and then 11th only will be our competitor. Because each competitors is for each vertical only the comparative. Because my vertical itself, my turnover is around 25,000 crore per annum this year budget. So this is what is B&F IC vertical. So that's a kind of, and it has got multiple verticals. So to give you an idea of what L&T is, some business verticals, we have construction, which is almost 40%, 45 to 50% of the L&T's turnover, to that 2.21 lakh crore. And hydrocarbon, which is also an EPC construction, which is also a big vertical. Then we have power plants, then minerals and metals, then heavy engineering fabrication, vessels, heavy vessels, and all those things, process vessels, fabrication facility, precision engineering for defense equipments, submarines, tanks, and you name it, even rockets, everything is fabricated in a precision engineering thing. We have shipbuilding, we have in Katupalli and other places. Then we have construction skill machinery, L&T Finance, L&T Reality, L&T Walls, and you name it. There are multiple futuristic divisions like semiconductor, data center also has been a new additions, which is to the list. So with our chairman from construction, there is a huge synergy between the verticals. That is what I need to bring out here. So there's so many councils which is cutting across the verticals, like quality council, safety council, analytical council, digital council, P&M council, equipment council, all these things where every vertical people join together. They meet every quarterly on join, share knowledge and problem solving. All those things happen, standardization. So this is a very continuous process which goes on in our companies. So L&T had always been pioneering technology. I'll come to construction. L&T Construction, which is on 45% of thing, right from 1980s, like Baha'i Temple. That was one of the last technology when I joined, late 89 I joined. That time, this was the talk of, these are projects at the talk of the town. Like white cement, concrete, the geometry, complex geometry with zero deflection, and the kind of thing, the formwork system that was designed to execute this project. So a phenomenal thing. Same way, this folded plate structure was one of the in thing then that usually what happens is when you have a plate which is tilted, it becomes more stiff. So for a 50-meter roof building, you cast one side of the plate horizontally, which is very easy to cast, another side, another horizontally, then tilt it together and join, cast the vertical, the valley, and lift it together, and that becomes a truss. So this is most cost-effective concrete structure roof for large span thing, which has been a thing which we pioneered in IIT Madras, Ocean Engineering Center, multiple factories we have done that. Then this natural draft cooling towers, where the parabolic hyperboloid, it just goes on like that. This is our office building, where again, it is an inverted pyramid on 3 columns. So entire weight of the thing is in three foundations, and inverted pyramid structure with the pre-stressed ground floor, which takes the entire load. It's a bracket kind of thing. So then we have Panvanla Viaduct, which we did in 90s, which was one single girder, 750 meter long, without break. It was push-launched from one end. You cast one 25 meter, push it, cast another 25 meter, keep pushing it. Entire 750 meter was pushed and placed in position on this. Then we have done 200 meter below the ground level LPG cavern in Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam. Then push launching of like jack down method for the well sinking, which we have done. Sissy Circuit flyover, match casting of flyover, which was done in Bangalore, one of the first pioneering bridge that time. The Reliance Jamnagar factory, which was the world's largest refinery. Then in lately, all big airports are constructed by L&T, like Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, currently constructing Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, all after privatization. Today, we have a capacity of almost 5 lakh people per day use the airports that L&T has built on a daily basis. That's a kind of thing. And airport, we started off with just civil construction, and now entire system, baggage handling system, visual guidance docking system, airport fueling system, then every other system, then 25 different specialist system, everything from design to commissioning, we do that. Complete turnkey, we are able to do that. The recent noteworthy project is, of course, Ayodhya Mandir, where not a single reinforcement is used, and 25 meter and below, it's a completely stone structure with copper clamps. Okay, and when we started this, the Mandir Trust people used to say, no, these kind of temple and all take 20 years to construct. How can you do it in 2-3 years? And they're amazed at the pace at which this is currently going on. And of course, everybody knows about the Sardar statue, which is the largest statue, 2 times taller than Statue of Liberty, where you can actually take an elevator, go to the breast level of Sardar and overlooking the Narmada River Dam. Phenomenal projects. Then recently we did one project of Shankara statue, which is designed for 1,000 years life, where stainless steel reinforcement, stainless steel internal steel structure has been used, and this was also completed in a very short time near Indore, Omkareshwar. And we are also doing this Karnaprayag to Rishikesh 9-meter tunnel, railway tunnel, where complete railway thing is being constructed. So these kind of technologically challenging projects are very common. So recent one, which my vertical has done some 2-3 technologically challenging things, which I just wanted to share. One is on 3D printing, what we have done lately, and then DRDO, one building that we have done, and then one Indo-Tibet, in Ladakh, we have done on self-sustainable building. These 3 buildings I just wanted to share. On 3D printing, mostly the 3D printing world over, which you see, they kind of do a 3D printed precast element, which is assembled at location. That's how most of the places, even if you in Dubai and all they have done, they 3D print it in a factory and then bring it and then assemble it. That's no fun. All that we have done 3D printing is in situ 3D printing with a gantry, which directly goes on and do a printing. And it has got special nozzle and special mix design, which is patented, which we have been able to use it. And we have also been able to integrate reinforcement into it. Of course, this is a very technology which is just growing. Today, it is not commercially viable to 3D printer and thing, unless it is a highly complicated structure, which is which cannot be done in the conventional way. Then only it makes sense to 3D print. Otherwise, today, commercially, maybe 15, 20 years down the line, this will become the order of the day. See, this 3D printing thing, you can completely input a BIM drawing, and the whole thing simply goes on its own, printing exact layout, no layout, nothing is required, everything goes on automatically. So remote construction is also possible, so using this. So we constructed a 3D printed post office in Bengaluru, which was inaugurated by Ashni Vaishnav. In 45 days, one of the completely in situ 3D printed post office, which is a lot of press coverage it happened. And we've also done one project in Chandigarh for BRO, that is Border Road Organization. This is a building itself in the shape called BRO. So it's again complete 2-storied building we have done with 6 out of 5 blocks 3D printed and handed over in 8-9 months it took for us. Now, next one I wanted to talk about is a DRDO building, which we completed 45 days. 45 days in the site construction, completely occupiable. Not when you say finished for 46th day, you can go and start functioning. AC is functioning, firefighting is functioning, lift is commissioned, everything is done. So of course, we did the complete prefabrication planning beforehand of 6 months complete prefabrication, total modularization. This may be futuristic to improve productivity at site. So this was one thing which we wanted to try out. It is a G+6 building, 1.3 lakh square foot building, wherein we have careful planning of how it needs to be done and how it is to be modularized, which factories, at 21 different locations, all these things are fabricated, some of them from Telangana coming over to immaculate planning of logistics and getting assembled at project site. 45 days seamlessly, day, night, 3 shifts together, we commissioned, and the whole thing was inaugurated. We had done usually 3D modularized 3D model, that is volumetric construction with pre-finished pods, which were completely installed for toilets and other things, which has become a very common practice for us. And this is a MEP complete modularization, and it has to be transportable also. We need to take care of in the roads have to carry and how to break it up into the area which is assemblable. Tremendous amount of engineering went in, and 45 days this is the final finished. It got inaugurated. 46th day it was up and running. So this was in Bangalore. For DRDO we did that. And then we are currently doing 10,000 apartment projects in for CITCO, and there are some 50 odd towers which is precast. And as a challenge, we took it up. So one tower has got 96 flats. So complete precast after the foundation is done, within 96 days, including finishing all the precast element, how to assemble it and finishing. We did it in 96 flats in 96 days, occupiable on 97th day, including door fixing, everything completed. So this also, the planning and other things, all BIM, latest technology of digital technology, RFID, and then BIM, everything was used in this, and we are able to complete this thing. So now most of the commercial buildings, we are going in for in Central Secretariat building, 306 toilet block units were there. So complete 3D pre-finished toilet blocks gets done in the factory, and that gets transported and assembled and erected at place. So that huge workman saving, man-hour saving at the project sites. So this we are able to successfully do it. And going forward, we want to have most of the prefabricable stuff. We want to identify beforehand which element can be prefabricated and brought in and erected, so that we are able to bring down the workman requirement and manpower requirement at project site. So this is something which is going on very seriously. The next one I wanted to share was a building that we did for our soldiers in Ladakh, which had all the elements of self-sustainable, no power supply. It had to generate its own power. So outside temperature -45, inside temperature will be 18 degree. And both wind, all three, wind, solar, and geothermal, all three are used, designed by us, modular manner. Within 45 days, we commissioned it, and it was inaugurated by our Home Minister and Amit Shah. They're very happy with it, and they want to replicate it, and multiple projects are in the offing. So this is, if you see, this is taking care of self-sustainable and renewable energy also, renewable energy being the focus, what it is. Now, I'll quickly want to talk about the digital transformation. The digital transformation, what happened is, it all started in 2016. Before that, we had 70 years of history, L&T, and we have done so many projects. So many projects, it's all, maybe our internal magazine will have the detail or some data in hard copy form. How do you leverage the knowledge that you have been built? So it was seriously thought about, and first stage was, if you see bottommost, was how to bring in the system which are not in a central repository in a structured manner. Data has to be collated. Like the concept was, in addition to the bottom line a project produces, there is another thing which it contributes to the organization, which is the data. Data is also a contribution. Even though you may have made a loss, but if you have contributed the data, it's a learning to the organization which can be leveraged for future. So that's how complete from ERP system we have been having in the mid 90s. But ERP was basically catering to the commercial transactions and billing and those kind of things. But there are non-ERP related information which is getting generated in the thing. We wanted to bring in, and we have done a complete large-scale digitalization. That my next slide will tell you what all that in that. Then slowly now integrating those independently, it was digitalized, integrating them and coming them and learning out of them, anomalies ironing out, and do a data extraction and kind of report generation, visualization of the data. Then also the plant and machinery that we use, and what are the data that plant and machinery, as a censoring, old plant and machinery may not have sensors. So today we have around 25,000 equipments all over our L&T Construction, which is all connected, and we are able to kind of get every data of what was the how many hours the engine worked, what was the temperature it reached, and what was the productivity, how much load it lifted, what was the concrete cubic meter produced. Everything is sensorized and it comes to the central database, and we have an asset insight portal where sitting in any office, anybody can just log into which project, which equipment is there. They're able to see the performance and preventive maintenance. All those things are now available as IoT-based IoT information that is there. And now we are really looking at how to use this data to for decision making and AI, how to apply. These are all the next process. A lot of things are under development. It's go on further. So if you see, we had bucketed the whole thing into workman-related information of a project, then material-related, then assets-related, plant and machinery, equipment-related. Then there are also, like we have precision. It's not just one vertical of construction alone. There are manufacturing facilities also. How a factory is performing, a form of manufacturing factory, how it is performing, or if it's a defense-related manufacturing or equipment manufacturing, those things, manufacturing inventory control, and a lot of specific digitalization there. Then safety related and profiling the vendor, profiling the workman, profiling the engineer concerned. Similarly, quality, what kind of non-conformity gets generated, complete systematic documentation of that, and on apps it's available, and we are able to do a back-end check and do a domestic benchmark, internal benchmarking, and many things are being done using that. Project management also, earlier we did try with certain things, and now integration of project management with other IoT data, we have taken up very seriously. That is next, I've got a slide there. For integrated project management, IPMS we have started. And we also have geospatial data, soil report, and other things. So many projects we execute and soil reports, everything gets collated in one portal, and we are able to keep including the data as we do projects. So that in future also some project comes, we have a data available in that region. That kind of information we are able to do within geospatial, and we extensively use drone and other technology for many things. So what we have done is individually we have developed. So we have concrete chain. So concrete chain will have equipment related to concretes and production, concrete concrete pumping and placing, as well as a progress report, quality forecasts, everything together. We are able to kind of see it in one go, and anomalies and data consistency across the thing, we are able to do that. Similarly, fuel chain, like power, the diesel consumption. So because we do 2.2 lakh crore of revenue, each, like if you take thousands of crores of worth of fuel and thousands of crores worth of steel, cement, we procure across things. So we are able to kind of do how to optimize our procurement, how to bring down the efficiency of equipment. All those things we do in a very structured manner. It goes on with the thing, and all this digitalization has tremendously helped us in that thing. And we have started doing analytics with the safety app and the past data of incident record and other things. And we are able to do a AI engine on the top of it and predict what is the vulnerable thing that's currently going on, which area you need to specifically train the workman, the hazard that is likely to pop up in your area. And those things are kind of automatically coming. And we are also seeing how to unify one solution. It's not just for my buildings and factory vertical. It has to cut across everything. So how do you kind of bring in, there's a special team working to unify the solution across all the verticals of L&T. Then even the logistic, the transport of material from project site to project site, or depot to a project site, even this is a huge volume. When we want to optimize on that volume and get the best cost for everything. So this we have been able to do, cutting across various verticals. Then our manufacturing facility, especially the defense as well as the pressure vessels and all, extensively they use automated welding, robotics within the factory, and precast operations in the heavy civil construction. They extensively use that. And we also need to take care of this carbon this thing. So we have a special portal where month on month how much carbon dioxide I have produced. We will be able to get it based on the diesel consumption and the energy consumption data, which is every vertical, every project enters the data, and we are able to online get this data. So that reporting in our sustainability report also, we are able to get this thing and quickly close the year-on-year reporting, which is becoming a mandatory these days. Then on the AI intervention, so 9 interventions are currently going on. So these are the things. One is on the contract module itself. We have so many tender request RFI documents. So these that is tender documents which comes in, and if you the PDF is loaded, and the essence of the risk, the risky clause, and the one page key risk is segregated based on the data which has been developed, and with accuracy. Critical clauses are picked up, and which are to be for this thing. So this is something which is live, and already our contracts team, the bidding team, is extensively started using this. Then on the engineering team is continuously using all the projects that we do design build, and we have a plethora of engineering data that we have been consistently producing. Now all these data in a collated manner is available, which is now again an engine is run on top of it, and we have made a headway here as well. Also the codal data which is available in our library, and we have things. So our engineering is completely large scale utilization of AI have started in our engineering department. Supply chain, of course, like any procurement in any vertical for a similar items, we are able to get whether we are within the band or outside the band, and we are able to. We have a engine running there which will tell you I'm going to likely to procure this thing at this rate for this item. Immediately you'll say, no, it is a red band. You have to negotiate harder because there's another vertical and another place at this point of time, they have procured it at a lower rate than this. So this kind of information, we are able to get it and make use of it. And this is helping us improve our procurement efficiency in the supply chain. And for knowledge purpose, like suddenly you want to know about something, a similar project, other thing, internal knowledge management, again, thing. There are some of them are work in progresses. We are trying to see how the CCTV images of various project site, how do you use it for PPE violation detection, safety detection, and kind of, we are trying to do some use cases here and try to see how we can be used and for safety maintenance and other thing. We have around 45,000 staff in construction division. So needless to say, the kind of queries that comes to the HR is extensively uses. There is a HERA internal robot which answers every query that related to HR, any staff, so that retention is improved and the employee engagement is improved. All those things happen. Project execution, some bid proposal, and these things are all in finance. These are all in discussion and a lot of action. We have a separate cell called L&T Cognitive Cell in L&T Construction Headquarters Corporate, where a team of 10-15 experts continuously work on it. They interact with corporate centers of different ICs, and they try to develop use cases and problems and specific which they would like to next take up as a solution provider that they start. This is what I said. Project management, we have an IPMS, which is the wrench platform which we have used, where engineering, procurement, and execution related complete information is all integrated and it's available in one go. So some typical dashboard is something like this. Like we'll get an S curve with the EVMS, and There is one for overview, engineering, procurement, construction, cost, safety, quality, risk, everything for all these apps and other things come into one platform. We are able to see what is the plan, what is the actual, what is the gap, and what is the gap this thing due to. We have started last year only. We started rolling maybe 7-8 projects. We have rolled in our 10% of our projects we have rolled. We want to scale it up and see how this can be order of the day for execution in all the projects. Next is BIM. From 2005 onwards, we are in using BIM extensively. We have used it in many projects in those days. And for engineering, was the first adopter. After engineering, we have taken into 4D and 5D into execution as well. So almost 20-25% of my projects are on 5D BIM. And we have progress monitoring which is going not going on as per schedule. Visually, we are able to go in and zoom in, and the reasons and all other information related to quality related, safety related also pops up in this thing. We are been able to do that. Also, of course, detail engineering and visualizing at site using various apps and other things is also happening. Where before construction, what is going to come here, these are all extensively used. Then you have we have a studio where immersive model get into model. Actually, many of the finishing item we invite our clients so that the approval process for various finishing items gets expedited. So we have two such studios available in L&T, one in Chennai and one in Mumbai. So we extensively use this for expediting the progress itself. Then comes, we are also at our beyond of IC level, we constantly see how to do a new robotics, how we can use it, how I can use a robotic for manufacturing build mesh, how do I using for block work, making block work placing and brickwork construction, whether it can go into, and we are designing, we are there is a separate team working specifically on where are the robotic opportunity and how we can kind of use it. Maybe some of them are not immediately yielding result. Maybe it's futuristic in nature. 6 years down the line, all these things will be a tremendous asset for us in our team. So to conclude, I feel that every organization should constantly think about technology, digitization, because this is the way to go, and the way opportunities are going to throw up. There will be plenty of opportunities for even 10 L&T in India. That's how I see. So everybody needs to come up to this level, and this is what I just wanted to share with all of you. Thank you. I hope I was within time.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. That was a great presentation. I think I could actually kind of see a lot of the audience questions that we already got. I think you kind of answered a lot of them through the presentation, which was very interesting to see that in terms of what the audience was wanting to ask and what you had prepared content-wise, I could see a lot of similarity there. But I think we still have quite a few questions that we've got from the audience. Mix of questions that we got before the webinar and also live on the webinar. So maybe I'll start with the questions from before the webinar, which we collected as a part of the registrations. So going into the first question, I think we saw a lot of interesting examples of the technology L&T is using, be it volumetric construction and prefab of toilet pods, MEP cradle systems. I think you spoke about the Citco project, using BIM, using AI, drone monitoring, even CCTV for AI safety maintenance, right, for detecting safety issues. Maybe one overall question here, which I think a lot of the audience members would also want to be interested in, and which is like a question that we've got. What is L&T's approach as a whole for technology providers? Like what kind of ecosystem does L&T envision for technology providers who are providing either products or services? And how is L&T looking at incorporating these within its projects? Because I'm imagining as we look to scale on all of these projects, you would be looking for the latest cutting edge solutions from across all of the new startups we have coming in India. So just wanted to get a sense of what is the ecosystem, what is the thought process, what is the approach?
Yeah. See, technology providers, as I said, I told you about IPMS. Okay, we did evaluate many things, and then we finally zeroed on Wrench was one of the platform which started giving. And like, we don't want to develop all of them in-house. That's not possible. But some of them, which is kind of a knowledge which is privy to L&T, we are not very comfortable sharing, because it's a business know-how which has to be safeguarded. So keeping in mind that requirement, we are open to many technology, and a lot of tie-ups do happen. Many of the digital solutions as well as technology-related solution. In fact, DRDO, whatever we did, a lot of vendors were involved, and a lot of technology partners were there. On our own, we cannot do it. The entire ecosystems gets developed that way. So definitely there is a process to integrate new technology. And in fact, there was one latest, I said, how to use an autonomous vehicle in a construction site itself. Okay. Now we started looking at it, and there was somebody who was said that there's an autonomous vehicle available. Why don't you try? Then we started using it for block work shifting and other shifting. If not autonomous, maybe remote controlled with a thing. They said that it has got autonomous. We were not fully confident of that thing. So still, it has helped us in a long manner, and it is also eco-friendly because it's electrically charged. And the logistics and workman related, we are able to bring down. These kind of things, when new ideas come up with various people, we are very open to looking at it, how to integrate it into the whole ecosystem of L&T's own functioning. That's the approach we always take.
Got it. Makes sense. And maybe a related follow-up question. It's a separate question, but I think it's a follow-up to this in a way. Let's say there are some companies on this call, right, who eventually want to demonstrate their products and services to L&T. What is some advice you can give them in terms of the practical implementation of their solutions? Because you guys have so much experience having tried so many solutions. So what is typically something technology companies miss out on, maybe while even designing the product, while pitching it to L&T, or even implementing it in a practical way?
One thing that I often notice is there is a limited understanding of how a construction site actually operates. In fact, the commercial structure itself, how subcontractors are how exactly the work gets done at the project site. What is the exact process? And I always get my work done through a subcontractor who is on a item rate basis engaged, and he is anyway believed to work within that item rate. Okay. Now, if I pick up one technology and one particular robotics to do that, it is my subcontractor who's supposed to use it, not me. So how do I make my subcontractor use it? Now that subcontractor will say, if I use this, my cost will go up. It's not fitting. So please don't force me to use it. So these kind of things, there are practical challenges in terms of thing. So how exactly the work actually gets done at a project site. Many times in the Western concept or Middle East or wherever, if you see internationally, the workman is on the role of the organization. And then whatever, he's a staff. Whereas in India, it doesn't work that way. They are on a work order basis engaged through a vendor. And there is an intermediary, and they keep getting churned. The worker, say, for example, my vertical, 85,000 workers we employ on a daily basis. For 85,000 workers I employ, I end up having 5,25,000 workers for entire New Year. So 4 to 5 times they get churned in a year. And a new guy comes in. This is the situation. Now, if I train one guy, and that guy goes off on Holi, will come and they will vanish. Now another guy will come. So how to, this is a challenge which we are trying to address, why they are leaving, how to retain them and other thing. There are, for practical consideration, they are not on our roll again. why this industry is following this not on roll concept? Reason because that's how in India it functions. We are also trying to see if, how to one or two pilots where on roll if we do it, whether it is workable or not, how it think. A lot of things, the thought process is going on, but these are certain practical things that one needs to understand before pushing a particular solution. Unless you have a clear understanding of how, because ultimately all the work gets done and the money gets generated at the project site. If project site people are not able to accept your solution, it's of no use pushing it from the headquarters. Now, ultimately, the project site guy will say, what's in it for me? How I am benefited, how my work is getting reduced. You please tell me. Now, you cannot say that the headquarters will be able to police you better, so you please do that. No, then they will say they will definitely make the whole thing fail. So that they say, this is not working, sir. This is please get back to status quo. That will be the approach. So how do you kind of bottom up? It has to be a pull factor from the project side rather than a push factor from headquarters. So how do you do that? So for that, lot of thought process need to understand what is the need of the supervisor at the project site. What exactly he needs on a day-to-day basis. Whether my solution is going to help him or not. That is invariably we end up designing it for the boardroom people. The people sitting in a thing who ultimately only take the phone to fire the guy who is not doing the work. It has to help the guy who is to do the work. That should be the approach. That is the biggest approach difference that needs to be really thought about.
Right. Thank you for that answer. I think, again, one comment in this current answer leads me to the next question, which is that we have heard in media reports that L&T consistently is currently facing a worker shortage for on-site construction. How does the use of technology help deal with this situation, if it does at all?
Yeah, that's what I told. We have a very two-pronged approach. One is why the worker shortage is happening. So one is upskilling the worker itself. Then the worker churn, how do you reduce? That is another approach. Other is how to reduce the workman man-hour content in the project site itself through prefabrication. So 3 or 4 approaches are there. Every this thing we have set a target out within ourselves, at least through prefabrication. Now we have what we do is every time a project comes for design, what kind of thing can be prefabricated so that I can bring down the workman requirement by at least 10% in this. So there's a think tank which really takes care while before releasing the GFC drawing, a process which you have brought into an engineering department. So these are certain things like on a continuous basis it happens, and setting up a prefabrication yard which will have a volume to serve, and what should be the location, how exactly you have to do. Everything is constantly thought about. Recently also we had a 5-year plan. We always have a 5-year plan. We call it the Lakshya. So the next 5 years, what are going to be the challenges and how we are going to approach. There was all verticals people gathered together and we had a brainstorming and what all we need to do, and a lot of tasks are laid out and clear milestones are laid out, and it goes on a continuous basis in our organization.
Got it. I think the next question is on scaling up pockets of excellence. So we saw a lot of examples of where you did a lot of pilots, but what is the approach really on determining if a pilot is successful? I think obviously there's a commercial aspect to the savings you can do, but overall we want, like, think the audience member wants to understand what are the metrics you guys use to determine if a pilot is successful, and then
ultimately what happens is the guy at site has to acknowledge that it's helping. That's what we will say. We may say that because on paper we can show that this is reducing cost and other things. You know, the critical chain method, and you in a whole chain of event, and if you just increase the efficiency in one portion alone, and if the whole chain doesn't improve, then it becomes no use, expediting one area alone. So we have to ultimately see that overall project has to get benefited, whether I have brought down the number of workmen required, whether I have improved my bring down the cost or improve my bottom line. So these are certain metrics, and this has to be acknowledged by guys at project site, not sitting here. I conceptually bring out something and then say that it is working, and I can always show on paper. This is what most of the management consultant, McKinsey, and all those people they try to bring in. Of course, that's an approach. We initially to push a thing, we need to take that kind of a thing to convince ourselves that there's a possibility, at least on theoretically, something is possible. But on the ground, it has to yield result. That's the only way a thing will survive. Many things have really taken root in our thing because on the ground people are feeling the benefit. Like many of the digitization of safety, quality. Now it's the order of the day. If safety quality app is not there, the site will not function. Kind of, they will ask for it. Why it is not there? So that is what it's a pull, not push.
I think next question, I'll group together a few questions. I think you pretty much answered these, but if you want to add anything, I think bunch of questions on AI and what is the roadmap for the next 3 to 5 years. I think you already covered that in the presentation. Which technologies in general is L&T investing in the next 3 to 5 years? I think again, you kind of took us through what are the focus areas for L&T. There are also questions on technology adoption on the site. So I think in general, we have touched on that, but there's a specific question on BIM implementation on the site. What are the key challenges that were faced initially to get site teams to use these tools and how you've overcome those challenges? So maybe we can go into that.
BIM is one thing which is the biggest problem, which again, people do not understand clearly. The people who try to push the BIM is the time at which the BIM model is required. Okay. And you prepare, and the detail to which the BIM model is to be prepared. These two are the important things. LOD 500 versus LOD 350. Okay. And at what point the LOD 500 kind of information can be incorporated within the model. Okay. And if it is a vendor-related detail, only after vendor comes on board, we are able to incorporate. And when you're releasing the GFC drawing, site is already kind of gone ahead with the thing. You are giving information too late to them. Okay, in case of various things. But how to kind of use all those information beforehand, at least a tender time conceptualization to plan your work. We are trying to see how to kind of integrate it into our method statement itself. No, it is not something you say that this is available and you also make a method statement. Now you say, no, with method statement, you say with BIM model, you have to check these things, and so that the rework is avoided. Like that, we need to integrate many of the things. One of the things are that. And then there is also a gap between the engineering team, their understanding of the constructability and sequence of construction is not very full. Whereas execution team has the knowledge. Now, the execution team versus the team making the model and who's actually conceptualizing, there is a gap and they don't understand. And they will prepare like, for example, they will make a model where every element is one big thing from one here to there. Whereas you would like to do it in 6 different steps, and you would like to separately break it up and do it. Then you have to end up reworking on the model. Then engineers say, no, you are not supposed to change my model. Then I will not vouch for the quantity. So these kind of arguments goes on, and we have to find a solution for all those things. Of course, one by one, slowly we are trying to iron out the difficulties, and more adoption is coming. And also you have to see that again the subcontractor and the vendor and how the whole thing gets executed. Who actually sees the drawing and gives instruction to the workers directly? Who needs to read the model and take the information and use it? Is it the vendor supervisor or the engineer mind this thing, or the workman level? Then whether he is fit enough to understand this. So these kind of things, the actual modality in which the work actually gets done and the information from the model goes into the execution, physical execution, is not clearly understood by the people who try to push the BIM into the execution. That is where the problem lies. So we are trying to identify where all the problem is and trying to see how we can solve all these things in a step-by-step manner.
Got it. I think we're through with the questions we got before the webinar. Now we have some that we've received during the course of the webinar. I know we are at 6 p.m., but sir, can we go on for 5 more minutes?
Yeah,
Quick.
okay. No
Try
issue.
to cover. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll group them together too, so we can go through them quickly. I think some of the quick hitters, any work that you are doing in AR, VR, or green technology or green solutions.
Yeah. AR, VR, extensively we are using HoloLens and other things, and we also have mobile-based thing where QR code based, and it will go into the model, and we are able to superimpose. There are apps available which we have started using that, and for safety training, we extensively use AR, VR. So we have got a safety school, the workman induction time, what all he needs to do, we use AR, VR. So AR, VR is wherever opportunity arises, we look out for opportunity and try to implement AR, VR. And on the renewable energy part, one is straight away how to bring in carbon reduction is something which is a very focused thing. This happens in 2-3 ways. One is the way in which we do construction, how a plant and machinery department, which is using energy and fuel, how do you shift from scope 2 to scope 1 to scope 2. So some of the many of the machines now we are trying to convert from diesel to electrical operated. One by one, we are trying to see and how to phase out diesel machine. Then diesel itself, we are trying to see how to have an RFID based dispersion system, so that we are able to kind of bring down the efficiency of usage and wastage and pilferage related to diesel itself. And wherever energy, that is solar energy, is available from the grid, we are sourcing it so that we get carbon credit. This is on the construction front. We have our own renewable energy division, which construct solar power plant and other thing. That is one thing. And we have a electrolyzer producing manufacturing system, which goes on in other vertical. So there is everywhere action is happening. So our L&T's own target is net zero by 2040 and water net zero by 2035. So we are closely tracking. I said that we have a portal called L&T Earth, which is able to, on a live basis, tell so far in this financial year which projects have produced, used to consume which energy, how much of energy, how much of carbon dioxide has been produced. We are able to track down that, and we see whether it is going as per the plan or not for 2035 and 2040 goals. So all these things are a structured process. There's a department which takes care of that.
Next question, for data management, what tools are used for schedule management, budget tracking, MOM, quality control, document management, risk reporting? Is there a single tool to manage all of these? Are there different tools?
Yeah, Primavera is one thing. And of course, now I said IPMS, which we have said is a comprehensive thing for everything. And we have our own ERP system, which has got modules. So there are an API connection. So each digital tool also talks to the IPMS, and the ERP system talks to the IPMS, and it has got its own document management system. We also have our own document management, but we are now shifting to a document management system of IPMS. So these are all kind of slowly transition is happening. Maybe we are on the journey is there. Maybe 60% we have crossed, still 40% to go. Yeah.
Got it. Next one, when it comes to BIM models and linking P6 schedules to it, is this something that is happening automatically through some model, or is every activity manually assigned to every element of the model?
This is being done manually only. So we'll look into it, whether it's possible to do it, this thing. So far, we have been doing manually only.
Okay. And next one, besides bathroom pods, MEP cradle systems, what are the future potential prefab opportunities L&T is looking at in the next few years?
Yeah, see, external work, the drains and thing have to be precast. Compound walls by default precast. Staircases, each flights have to be precast. So wherever possible, lift wells have to be precast. So we have done that in DRDO, but how to integrate it and client acceptance. Some of them we have the freedom to do it our way, but sometimes external consultants are involved in the projects. They will have to abide by the requirement of them. So wherever possible, our goal is to slowly increase the precast content in the project. Slowly, that is what is the thing. I said 15% to begin with, and then 20% we will slowly go up.
Okay. Another similar one, AI in scheduling. Is L&T looking at this? How are they planning to go about this?
AI, although I said we are working on many things, one thing that needs to be understood is we are in a live thing. Okay, it's a functioning, running machine, running engine. You cannot go and tamper with that. Now, if you say that I have an AI schedule which will learn from you and which is 80% accurate, and maybe over the years it will become 95% accurate and other things, then what will happen is the side guys will say, no, why I require this? They want which is 100% accurate. Today, next day, I should start using it. That is, they don't have patience. So ultimately, I have to listen to what my side guy wants. I cannot push something for experimentation purpose. So all the AI, this is the challenge, because the need of the project side is there is a quarter pressure. Daily targets are the monthly targets are the client is on our head. We cannot be experimenting with certain things which is only 80% accurate or 75% accurate, and then you will have to again sit there and invest to see whether it is properly done or not, and the client has to accept that. So yes, there are challenges. These are futuristic in nature, but it will take time. We have to develop a robust, reliable application, then only push it to the project side. It is what is it.
Got it. So in the interest of time, the last question, and again, this is grouping together a bunch of questions. So I think I can see this as a common question, but if I can summarize it, I think we spoke about the ecosystem for new technology providers at L&T. I think the question is, are there certain minimum requirements or are there certain standards? Is there a certain platform that people can reach out to if they want to showcase their products and solutions to L&T as a technology provider?
No, see, basically, like people like us, every corporate center has got a thing, and you reach out through any L&Tites, then anyway it will get pushed up to the hierarchy, through the hierarchy, and it will go. So for initial introduction, it can be any L&Tite you get to know, you can try to get in, and that's how the ecosystem. We are very flexible that way because then only we can get more ideas. We are open to many ideas. That's what is the thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time and for answering all of these audience questions. I think it was a great session, very interactive. I also want to thank the audience. I think great participation, and we had more questions than we could get answered in the time slot. So that's always a great sign. Lots of interesting questions, very engaging conversation. But again, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of CTAI Foundation to thank RSN sir and also to thank L&T as an organization overall. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Dhruv.
And before we drop off on the webinar, for all the audience members, I quickly want to also share an update on CTAI Foundation's flagship conference that we do every year, which is Construction Technology Day. I'll just share my screen quickly. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah.
So Construction Technology Day is an annual flagship event that we do once a year, where we bring together all of our key stakeholders, be it startups in the construction technology space, be it companies like L&T, or be it the academia. And the idea is to provide a common platform where all of these entities can kind of interact with each other. The intent is to have many more speakers such as RSN sir, a single platform where they can exchange thoughts and also interact with the audiences, and also have a bunch of construction technology startups showcase their products and solutions to the entire audience. I think we've done 3 CTD events so far. The first one in Pune, the one in 23 in IIT Bombay, and the last one in IISc Bangalore. We also had L&T participate last year in Bangalore with the prefab module that they created. And we are happy to announce that this year we'll be hosting CTD 2025 in Mumbai on 9th and 10th October 2025. I think very soon we're going to start registrations for the event, but would like to encourage all of the attendees on the webinar to definitely attend this event and have the chance to interact in person with many such personalities such as RSN sir. And with that, I would like to wrap up the webinar. Most probably, we will be having the next webinar in this series towards the end of May, but we'll keep you all posted through our social media channels. Once again, thank you so much, RSN sir, and thank you to all the audience members.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.